Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Napoli nil, Lazio 1. Who would have predicted that? Who would have predicted that Lazio would upset Napoli? They have form for this. They've done it to Inter. They've done it to AC Milan. So perhaps a big scalp. Still beating Napoli at home, where they've been so imperious this season. They've been imperious everywhere, but to be as good as they've been at home, and for Lazio to win, and not just win, because you can always get flukish 1-0 wins. This wasn't that. This was an absolute a bit of a statement performance in some ways, in just how they contained Napoli and how they executed their game plan to perfection. Because from minute one, you felt that Lazio were in total control of the game. They were in control of the situation. They had the best chance in the first half as well, the one where Vecino puts it, if you thought he had scored, only to see Di Lorenzo heads it over. It's a brilliant header, by the way, from Di Lorenzo to prevent that goal, because that was going in, and it could have even been an own goal. But Di Lorenzo got that so spot on. It was it will be forgotten in the overall history of the game, but that was such a beautiful save. But but Napoli, I mean, until they went behind, they didn't look like they were creating any clear-cut chances. They just didn't. And then they had the chances after that, but it just felt. And again, you look tactically at how Lazio played. It was perfect. What they did was they squeezed out the middle of the park. They said, if you're going to go at us, you're going to have to go wide. So every time the defenders, whether it was Min-Jae, whether that was Di Lorenzo, whether that was whoever that was, Rrahmani as well, what they had to do was they had to keep going wide. They had to keep putting long balls onto the sides. So they had to go either to Lozano or they had to go out to Kvaratskhelia. And what that meant was, of course, is if they don't get the long ball right, then the ball goes out and the attack is killed. If they do get it, what Hysaj and I believe it was Hysaj and Marusic, what they did was they said, we're going to stick tight. We're going to make sure that you can't go past us. And every time they tried to cross it, particularly Lozano, every time he tried to cross it, Hysaj was just like, yeah, I'm going to block it. So they had the plan. They trusted their defense. They trusted their game plan, and then they never wavered from it. And so what they did was Napoli essentially had no way past Lazio. They were just getting frustrated. And what happens is sometimes, when you can frustrate a team long enough, you get a little bit of laxity, you get a little bit of tiredness, and then you can pounce. And that's what they did at second half. Luis Alberto had a good run. Before the goal, he had a good run, and that didn't go as planned. The second time he runs with the ball, it's a beautiful run, and the cross is pretty hopeful. I'm not sure if it was Luis Alberto crossing, but the cross is pretty hopeful. It's nothing great. And Kvaratskhelia, he doesn't head it properly. His clearance, it is getting lost a little bit in the strike, but his clearance wasn't very good, because he's either got to put it back to his goalkeeper, and if that is not an option, he's got to head it backwards away from. But what he just is, he heads it right back. And I think that's the thing, because they were getting so frustrated. So every time Lazio were attacking, what I think Napoli were like, this is our chance to counter. This is the way we can go through. They can counter. And so Kvaratskhelia, I think, was starting to think, oh, well, this is an easy one. I'm going to try and set up a counter. Rather than focusing on the clearance, he was focusing on trying to set up a counter. And so what he did was he gave it straight to Vecino. Given a Vecino had to do a lot with that. But that is an absolute thunderbolt of a strike. That is a brilliant strike. Might be one of the goal of the season contenders as well. It's so pure, and it just swerves away from Meret. Watch that again from the back, from the angle from behind, because the side angle doesn't really do justice to how good it is. Because you watch it, it actually curves away. It curves away from Meret. Although if it doesn't, Meret saves it. But because it's curving away, it's right in the corner. Meret can't save it. It's just such a good strike. And Vecino would have been one of my man of the match contenders anyway. Even without that goal, but that goal just put him a little bit higher on that rung. But it was a brilliant finish. And I thought the three midfielders, Vecino, Milinkovic-Savic, and Luis Alberto, had a good game. Again, the important part about squeezing midfield was those three had to be compact. They had to be completely disciplined and in shape. Because again, if one of them was out of sync, they were in trouble. So those three had to be really disciplined, and they were. And I mean, from Napoli's point of view, I think a lot of players didn't have good games. I think Kvaratskhelia for me was pretty poor today. He's had a great season, but I think today was probably one of those games that we'll want to forget. It was very frustrating for him, and then maybe Marusic had a part to play in that, because he kept putting him down blind alleys. But even otherwise, I think he just didn't look on it. Osimhen didn't look on it as well. Again, a player who's had a very good season. And if you stop Kvaratskhelia, and if you can stop Osimhen, then I think you stop Napoli. And I think that was what happened today. Neither of them had good games. And there was a moment as though it sums it up where Lazio gave the ball away and it fell straight to Osimhen. And Osimhen, I don't know what he's trying to do. Either him and Kvaratskhelia were trying to link. Kvaratskhelia was like, okay, I'm going to take this and run. And Osimhen just kind of does something with the ball and touches it, and it just, the attack just stops. And you could hear the groans in the crowd where they were like, what's going on? And I also screamed. And I'm a neutral. I don't really have much of a stake in the game. But I was like, what the hell's going on over there? Just a total breakdown of a move that was a very, very good opportunity. So it's a game that Napoli will want to forget. It's a game perhaps in some ways that Napoli needed as well, because what happens is oftentimes you get a big lead, at this point in the season, you start thinking you're invincible, and then, complacency sets in. So getting a result in this sort of a game, I think it will just give them a little bit of a kick up the backside to go, right, this La Liga is not done yet. We still got the Champions League to aim for. We can't be complacent. We're not unbeatable. We're not invincible. And I think in some ways, in the longer context of the season, this could be an important result for Napoli's season as well. I mean, it's surely an important result for Lazio, because now they go second in the table, and the fact is that they're probably one of the most vulnerable teams in that top four, with Inter, AC Milan. I mean, Roma and Juventus are trying to chase them down. I mean, Roma and Juventus play each other next, so one of them, I think Lazio will hope that Roma lose anyway. But I think that they'll feel that yes, we got 3 points in a game, but we probably shouldn't have, and that gives us another cushion to add to what we have in the league. So it's a fantastic result from Lazio's point of view, and credit to Sarri, credit to his tactical genius, because he got that game plan spot on defensively. And it was fantastic. It was interesting to watch, and I think this is one of the first times that Napoli have been completely shut out offensively. I don't think that's happened before. They've lost a game before, of course, they lost to Inter, but I don't think they've ever been shut out offensively in a way that Lazio did it. So that's something that they'll have to think about as well. Not every team is going to be as organized, but something to look forward to as the big games roll on. That's the point of this season, isn't it? Man of the match, I think Vecino was one of my contenders, and like that goal really put him high up. But I've got to give it to Hysaj. I mean, Hysaj was just fantastic. Every cross that came in, I think he had Lozano against him. I think he had Politano, and I think Elmas tried. None of them got past him. I think, and that says a lot about him, because he was just so good. Every cross was being blocked. There was no crosses that were going on inside. He never allowed anyone to get a run. I think that's just the mark of a good performance. And so for me, and I'm a defender, so I was, I'm biased to defenders, aren't I? But I'll say Hysaj is man of the match, because he's just brilliant. Because you had to defend, because without that strong defensive cover, you don't get the Vecino chance, you don't get the Vecino shot. So for me, I think it's got to be Hysaj. Who's the man of the match. But let me know in the comments, maybe your choice is different. Maybe you go with Vecino. I mean, that goal that's a goal that deserves to win a match. I mean, let's be honest, that goal is a goal that deserves to win a match. So you can't go wrong with Vecino, you can't go wrong with Luis Alberto. So I think there's a few players that you can pick, and that tells you what a good performance it is from Lazio when you have more than one person to pick. Yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game. Of course, always love to hear your comments. Do you think this opens up the Serie A title race again? I don't think it does, for the simple reason that I don't see Milan and Inter consistently winning 5 games while Napoli lose. That's the problem. I think it's one thing for the team to drop points, another for the chasing teams to then catch up to them. That's the issue. So I still think Napoli it will take a monumental mess up from Napoli to lose the title from here. So let's hope it doesn't happen for Napoli's sake. I mean, stranger things have happened. But let me know if you think that there's an opportunity for another team to kind of clamber in and maybe steal the title from Napoli. Always love to hear that. Of course, smash like if you enjoyed this video. As I said, smash like for Lazio. Do subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, we appreciate your support. And we've got a few more this weekend, so we'll have more match reactions coming tomorrow. So if you subscribe, you'll get notified as videos drop. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.